This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Mid-Del Sports Report right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Great to be with you here as we will be talking Del City tonight. And we want to thank tonight the opportunity to be back at Buffalo Wild Wings. We took last week off because of Valentine's Day, and so we're glad to be back talking Mid-Del sports as several of the sports teams are heating up here in what we're doing. So Buffalo Wild Wings, you can come here anytime between now and March 31st and support your favorite Mid-Del sports team, winter sports team, and that will include, of course, Del City girls basketball, which we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a bit. Buffalo Wild Wings, your place for basketball of any type right now with the Thunder, the Sooners, the Cowboys, and any big game on. March Madness not too far away. Tooney Buys Houses is the other sponsor for the Mid-Del Sports Report. They buy and renovate homes. They'll buy homes in any condition. They are Tooney Buys Houses, and we really thank them very much. They are very active in the community. Okay, let's go ahead and show you the bracket, as we will also show you the result from last night. Both Del City and Carl Albert are playing in the Carl Albert Regional for girls 5A West. And you can see that Carl Albert won their game going away against Southeast. And then the game of the year we had on the Oklahoma Sports Network after that is Del City outlasted Guthrie in 3 overtimes. And now I get to be joined by the Del City coach, Mariah White, and a couple other players. We'll get to them here in a moment. But, Coach, when we look back at this game, were you surprised at just how well Guthrie was shooting and some of the shots they were making? I know the one at the end of first overtime, craziest of them all, but I mean they were hitting throughout the game.
That's kind of what we expected. We knew 23 could shoot. Now I did not expect her to hit 5 threes, but we did expect them to come out and hit some shots. Number 4, 21, those are the best players, and so we knew it was going to be a tough game. Like you said, they hit some tough shots. Didn't expect them to make all of them, but it seemed like they did yesterday.
Yeah, and from the free throw line and from three-point range, and that one girl, Smedley, she wouldn't miss.
No, they didn't miss too many.
No.
They didn't miss. I think in the first half they missed 2 free throws.
Yeah. So, in your team wanted to play with pressure, and it didn't. I mean, were you surprised also? And I know this is a delicate question about how the game was called, how the game was officiated, especially when it came to defensive fouls.
I was. This was the first game this year we had 3 players foul out. So it was unfamiliar territory. We foul every now and again, but I don't think we foul that much. And so for us to have 3 players foul out and 2 or 3 other players with 4 and 3 fouls, it was one of those games where we just had to adjust on the fly. It was something that we weren't used to.
So what do you tell your players when that's happening, when they want to play a certain way and it's hard to do with the refs? Meanwhile, Guthrie, they're not playing with any pressure, so it works for them.
We tell them, play through adversity. The whistle gonna blow. We can't control it. Control what we can control. If they call it, they call it. If they don't, they don't. But however they call the game, we got to adjust and play our game.
Okay, we just have with us now 2 of the players. We're going to go and turn their mics on. I got to interview both of them at the end of the game. It was a lot of fun. That's Sasha Hunt and Shelby Thornton. All right, so Shelby, now after the game, did you find out how many rebounds you had?
I had 15.
15? So it's about 15 and 15 then, huh?
I think I had 16 points.
16 points?
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
I think it's about right. It might have. We'll double check. We'll fact check. But I think she was closer to 20 on the rebounds yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think so.
Could have been. What can you say about how Shelby played? Because she avoided the foul trouble, and you didn't have to worry about her fouling out.
You know what? She probably should have had more fouls. She probably should have had more, but that was good on her part, staying out of foul trouble. And a lot of that is because she's our last line of defense, and so it was us applying a lot of pressure up front. Shelby didn't have to go foul. So she did good, stand down at the end of the game, stand down. I think it was one foul that was kind of costly at the end, but we learned from that.
Yeah. And Sasha, are you tired now after getting the day after that game?
No, I'm still not tired.
No, still not tired. Feel like you could go right now if you had to?
Yes.
All right, Coach, what can you say about Sasha's game? Because, I mean, she was and your team had some struggles from the free throw line, but she made them in the third overtime, and she played almost the entire game, if not the entire game. I don't recall if she got taken out.
No, she didn't.
I mean, and so she was – and then she had a three in the – I don't know if it was the second or third overtime, but that's after Guthrie took a brief one-point lead. He had a corner three, Sasha. I mean, so she was still playing with energy the whole game. And what can you say about her performance?
That's who she is. She's a basketball player, so this is nothing new. Sasha can go to the gym on the weekend and probably play for 2 or 3 hours. So to play 44 minutes is light work for her. You know what I mean? Like you said, she can go play. She can play the whole game, and she can have that same motor from jump ball to the end of the game.
And then one other player I want to highlight who made some big shots for you was Courtney McCarroll.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she had, I think, a couple of and ones in overtime. She really picked her spots well. I didn't think she was out of control at all. I mean, what can you say about how she's progressed this year?
I mean, like we talked about earlier in the year before we started playing, I think she's added that to her game to where she can pick her spots, she can get to her spots, and she can finish. She missed some free throws early, but she was able to, regroup, get back together, and then she hit 2 big ones for us late. And so that's something we need, especially it takes pressure off of Sasha, takes pressure off of Shelby, takes pressure off of Randa whenever we can get more than 2 players involved.
And out of you 2 players, I mean, who's doing a lot of the talking maybe when things are starting to, turn against you maybe? You're down, I know, early in the third quarter, down 8 points against Guthrie. I mean, what's the tone of the team at that point?
Stay together.
Mm-hmm.
Get the job done. Execute.
Yeah. I feel like the person that did most of the talking was Sasha. Sasha loved to talk.
So Sasha's our talker. She's the talker. She's the talker. She's the one, but as she should be. That's what we ask the point guards to do. So she's going to be the loudest on the court. She's going to talk the most. But that's her personality. So if you know Sasha, you know that is not out of character.
And Sasha, do you consider yourself a point guard or just a guard?
Point guard.
Point guard.
Yes.
And one thing I liked about how the game was ending for you is when you guys had possession, they're not going to pressure you, so you could take your time with that. I mean, was that deliberate once you got to late stages of the game that you weren't going to rush anything? If they were going to go zone, you're just going to pass the ball around until you felt like attacking.
Yes. Take our time. Let the play develop.
Yeah, and Coach, was there a certain point in the game you told them to do that?
At the end, whenever we got up 2-1, we wanted to be patient, but there really wasn't a lot of time for us to sit back because they started sending 2 late. They started sending 2 late to Sasha, and so which gave Mackenzie Smithers had a wide open layup on the backside. I don't know if it was Sasha or Shelby that found her, but. So we wanted to be patient, but even though we were trying to be patient, there wasn't a lot of that going on just because they did start applying some pressure late. Well,
and then that basket Akila Howard made. I know she came in cold, and then she had the driving lane, and she just went.
Yeah, she that's her spot. Akila knows what to do in those moments. That was part of the reason I called on her because Akila knows how to go in and pick her spots in the zone.
And Sasha, for you. When they are trapping you, you didn't seem like it even fazed you at all. And I think you're very comfortable with the 5 counts. I noticed that. Like you make sure that you get the right space you need. Is that something you've been practicing since you were a much younger player?
Yeah, since I've been playing with the Lady Lions, that was like 2nd or 3rd grade.
Okay. Well, and but that may have been a factor on that one back court, which I couldn't quite get.
I don't know.
Any comments on that, Coach, or either one of you?
I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
I think we just danced a little too close to that half court line.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, we gave the referee, room to call that call. So
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, I mean, that's what I could tell you're trying to do is you were wanting to avoid a 5 count, and then you got close to the line, but I know I couldn't get a good view of that. That seemed like a complicated call there. And then then that last turnover, I really thought the Guthrie player hit it off you. Is that pretty much how you saw it?
Yes, sir. She did.
Okay. And then Shelby, now Guthrie had one player guard you most of the game. I think it was Doolittle, I believe, number 35.
Yep.
When she came out, was there an obvious difference in whoever they had trying to keep you from the offensive glass?
Definitely a size advantage. Like, after she had left, there was nobody really my size out there. Nobody could really handle me. I will say they went into the little zone, and, we had to get people to hit the shots and make the plays right. I just, stayed in it the whole time. I really couldn't do too much thinking about who fouled out over there, who fouled over an arm on our team. I just had to keep my head in the game.
And what that allowed you to do, though, is you're able to, play around the paint. You didn't have to worry too much about whoever you're guarding on offense.
Right.
And that was a good advantage you guys had. And I have to say, Coach, one of the things that has impressed me about Shelby recently is her hands getting on that defensive glass. There's not too many basketballs that go over her head.
when you're 6'2", that's an advantage. And like you said, she probably had 4 or 5 inches on everybody on the court, and so we want to keep her close to the rim, keep her in a good position where she can get those rebounds. And if she's in position, like I said, she had close to 20 yesterday. That's her range. As long as she's close to the basket, that's not out of reach in any game for Shelby.
Was this your first triple overtime game you've been a part of?
Yeah, I just told Sasha earlier, I think that's the first game ever, triple overtime, that I've been a part of. I've never had a game that long.
I can't remember the last time I saw one up close. I'd have to think about that, too. That was I couldn't believe it. But, each time that they got back, you got back to the bench after an overtime was extended, because Guthrie had a couple of shots at the end of the first and second, was it just about, hey, keep staying positive with your players, not worrying too much about it, feeling like, your guys were in control?
Pretty much. I think whenever we went to another overtime, it was just, I trust us. I trust us to go out there and beat any team. If you give us 4 minutes against any team in the state, I trust in what we can do. And so as long as we get another 4 minutes, and I know we got a chance to win. So it was, it sucked to go into another overtime, but at the end of the day, I'd rather go into overtime with this group than any other group.
And it helped that Guthrie didn't even contest the tip. Thanks to Shelby.
Yeah, it was defense tip.
Yeah, so you could take the first possession and take as much clock as you wanted. So that had to be a nice luxury. All right, let's talk about Carl Albert. Sasha, have you played a lot over the years against Carl Albert's guards, particularly Curry and Jakari Brown?
Yes, in AAU ball, we've played against each other multiple times.
So I'm thinking Curry's going to try to pick you up here. And when that happens, do you guys ever talk any? No. Just play?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be important about that aspect, whether it's defending their guards or how they defend you?
I think that we just got to sit down on defense. And I know that if I want to get by you, then I'm going to, So we just got to sit down on defense, just us.
All right. Now, Shelby, you'll have to guard someone who can score.
Definitely.
If you go man, I don't know what your strategy will be, but go ahead.
I definitely know who I'm guarding.
Okay.
I can't wait.
You going to tell us or keep it a secret?
Nah, 24 on 24. How about that? 24 on 24.
Asha Moore. Okay. Well, but she can shoot.
I know.
So that'll be interesting. What do you think about that? I mean, Carl Albert there last year, they had more shooters, but now Asha Moore's shooting in place of those players, the seniors they had that shot a lot of threes. And now they're kind of longer at the forward position. So they're a little different than last year's team. I mean, your team's pretty similar to last year's team because you didn't have a lot of any but one senior.
Right.
And then, but this team, Carlbert team's a little different. What do you see as a challenge against them?
Like you said, their length. They're a big team with Asha and Pluckett inside. That's a lot more size than we've seen lately. The guards, like you said, they can't shoot it as well as the guards in years past, but they are more aggressive, I think so. So it's going to be a different matchup just because I think they're going to be more physical than they've been the past few years, but I think we match up with them well.
Sasha, do you expect Carl Albert to be gambling more on defense? Because Guthrie really didn't try. They wanted to stay at home against you guys.
Yes, I think they're going to gamble more than Guthrie did. Try to get in the passing lanes and get steals.
Okay, and so Shelby, when you go up against whichever player it is it what's the challenge there as far as crashing the offensive glass and using your length on offense?
I mean, really can't think about it. I mean, it's just something I got to do. That's one of my roles. Go crash the boards. Whoever in my way, better move out my way because I'm coming to get that ball.
There you go. Okay, well, I mean, we're looking forward to this matchup a lot. And one of the things I want to ask you about, one of the things you have that you utilize is your bench with Raina coming off the bench. But when she'll finish a lot of games, is that by design? You want someone, fresh who can maybe see what's going on from the bench and then
it's all designed. I don't think any other team has a player like Raina coming off the bench. And when we can bring somebody in off the bench who can go get us 10 to 12 points some games, 15 to 17, that's a luxury we have. We get better when we go to our bench, and a lot of teams drop off, and so it's all by design. Raina comes in, Mackenzie Smithers comes in. That's when we explode. And like I said, it's all by design. Just whenever the other team wears down just a little bit, now I can bring Raina in and let her go, and she can go and get in attack mode.
By the way, Sasha, do you and Raina guard each other a lot in practice?
Yes, that's our matchup, me and her.
How do those matchups usually go?
I beat her every time.
Every time. So you taught her everything she knows then?
Yeah.
Raina know that?
No.
Definitely don't.
But have you guys played together for several years?
Yes, we played together on the DC Queens AAU ball.
And then middle school?
Middle school too, yeah.
Okay. I mean, you two are very similar in your types of games, I find, so it's a good combination. Shelby, any final thoughts about the game Friday and where you think your team is ready to make a run?
I mean, we don't got to do too much talking. We already know when we come in that gym, we step foot in that gym, and we're standing on business. Okay.
Well, let's go and show the bracket one more time. So in 3:30, we get to bring you this game. It'll be after school. Hopefully, Coach, the Del City crowd will be able to get out of school and get to the game on time.
That's the plan. We're trying to get a bus load of kids to get over to the school.
And then I'm sure Carl Albert students will be at the game, and it'll be a good afternoon environment. It's a very unusual, I should say it's the first time we've had a regional championship on a Friday afternoon instead of a Saturday afternoon. So that's going to be different. But what will be the same is we will have this game for you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And whoever falls short in that game, could be Carl Albert, could be Del City. We hope to have their game at Midwest City Saturday evening as they will play a consolation game to get to the area round the following weekend. And we hope to maintain that coverage throughout. Okay, let's go Coach White, Sasha, thank you very much. Shelby, thank you very much. And when we come back, we'll have Del City Wrestling right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Red Plains Plumbing has been offering reliable commercial and residential services to the OKC metro area for over a decade. From new construction and remodeling to residential repair, they can handle jobs of all sizes. When you need a trusted name in plumbing, it's Red Plains Plumbing. Family owned and operated. Phone 405-769-1922. That's 405-769-1922. 1922.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
All right, and welcome back to the Middale Sports Report on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We're here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I just want to show you real quick the Buffalo Wild Wings card for Del City Wrestling. That means that if you show them this card, you can download it to your phone. If you need help with that, just let us know. And you come to this Buffalo Wild Wings in Del City, you show them this picture on your phone, and Del City Wrestling will receive 10% of the proceeds, and this will last until March 31st. Okay, I'm happy to now be joined by Del City's head wrestling coach, Jamie Shaver. Did I pronounce that name right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Let's take a look back at how things have gone the last few weeks. Things have gone pretty well for you. So where was this picture taken here?
So this was after the regional championships this past weekend. Have all our qualifiers in that photo. We got 8 boys in. Had 3 champs. And we were a runner-up team by 2.5 points to Coweta.
All right, very good. Next picture here. Okay, that one we didn't put in correctly here. So we'll try to get one more here for you in a second. But this has to be one of your strongest finishes you've had.
Yeah, we're kind of on an upward trajectory. Coach Ricaldi kind of touched on that at practice today. You know, we finished, I believe it was 4th at Carl Albert, 4th at Chickasha, and then 2nd here at the regional championships last weekend.
Okay, let's see if we get the next picture now. Put it in. That's a smaller picture, but who do we got there?
So those were our 3 champions this past weekend. 2 of them are here with me. Evan Colbert at 106 pounds, DeAndre Buttram at 175, and then Liam Daniels at 190 pounds.
Okay. Let's look at the next one. I think this one's ready to go.
Oh, yeah. So this is kind of I guess it started as an inside joke when I would wrestle the kids in practice. I had a history of riding DeAndre and Liam specifically. So when I would get up off of them, I would do that's the Lane Frost wave. I don't know if anybody's familiar with 8 seconds, but I started doing that in the room, and it kind of caught on. Some of our kids started doing it when they would win matches, and we actually won over the crowd. The Sulphur heavyweight did it after he won his finals match at Chickasha.
All right, let's look at the next one. There's a podium. I think this is a girls' wrestling match.
Yeah, this is girls' regionals. This is our heavyweight. Returning state champ, Sorrel Hurd. Got 4th place at regionals this weekend. Heavyweight for girls 6A is probably one of the tougher weight classes for sure. And then her region was super tough.
Yeah, and like you said, she's in 6A, so
yeah.
And I know it's similar with Midwest City, how they kind of are teetering the 5A, 6A line there. Let's go to the next picture. More different podium here.
Yeah, this is our 170-pounder Chloe Daniels. She's actually here with us this evening.
Okay. Let's go to the next one.
This is freshman Avery Dial. Avery was a junior high state placer for us this year, and she got 4th place at regionals, also qualifying.
That's be exciting to see the freshmen succeed.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right, let's look at the next one.
This here is Serenity High. Serenity missed last season, but came back as a sophomore, and she's been on a tear. She pins just about everybody she wrestles. She lost in the semis there to Bella Williams from Edmond North. She's the #1 girl pound for pound right now.
All right, that's pretty good to get that far.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is Chanel Bolton, one of our sophomores. She got 4th at 135 pounds.
Okay. And any more? Or is that it, Matt? Okay, let's go ahead and go back to our camera shot here. That's my mistake. We didn't get it very clean. But so what I read, Coach, on Facebook was you had 14 qualifiers?
14 in total, so 8 boys and 6 girls. I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out Katie Herlong. She's one of our seniors. We only had 2 this year on the girls' team, and she was able to qualify at 130 pounds.
Okay, so how does this compare to recent years, having 14 qualifiers?
So last year we had 5 boys qualify with 3 placers, so a pretty significant improvement there. We had 2 in the 5th place match, DJ Wright and Prince Carter, both came up just short. And then on the girls' side, we only had 1 qualifier last year, so a huge improvement on the girls' side.
Well, that's awesome. And so your matches start this weekend. Is it on Thursday?
Yeah, they start tomorrow. So both our girls and boys will compete in the afternoon, starting at 4:30.
And will you be competitive in the team standings?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Just kind of like we were talking about earlier, that trajectory that we're on. Our guys are wrestling really hard. Our girls are wrestling hard. I believe our girls finished 12th last year, and so they're really looking to break into that top 10, and they got their eyes on the top 5. Boys, I mean, we've been talking about it all year long, but we don't wrestle to lose.
Yeah.
So second is just first loser. We're really, really excited, really proud of our victories this weekend. Don't want to stomp on that parade at all, but like Liam's Instagram post said today, job's not finished.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's introduce these 2 wrestlers you have with us here.
So we got here on the end, we got Evan Colbert. He's a returning state placer for us at 106 pounds. Made the decision early on to drop back down and has been super competitive all year long. He was 3rd at Chickasha. Would you place at Carl Albert? 3rd at Carl Albert. Made the podium for the first time at the Geary Invitational this year, which was huge. And he's looking for that top spot. He's not satisfied with anything but the top of the podium, and his work has shown it all year. And then we got Liam Daniels, who transferred to us from Edmond North at Christmas break. Really competitive over there, and we were blessed enough to receive him with open arms. Since then, he's won the Geary Invitational. He won the Carl Albert tournament, the Malcolm Wade invite.
I remember
he
that.
won the Chickasha tournament. And then he was extremely dominant at regionals this past weekend. So he's looking to go claim himself a title.
So Evan and
Liam
Daniels.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay, Evan, talk about what you saw this for you in the last few weeks, and especially what it took for you to qualify. So, what was that journey like?
I mean, getting there was just part of going with the team. To be honest, the team has been pushing me, and there was some things that was going on earlier in the year that made it to where I didn't know if I wanted to continue wrestling, but they were the people who kept they were right behind me, wanting me to keep continuing with the sport, and they're going to be the reason I end up on the top of that podium this year.
So, obviously you're glad you stuck with it right now, being here. What was What was one of the big, I don't call it turning points for you, but like one of the big matches you won where you were like, you felt really satisfied given the quality of your opponent and how well you wrestled?
Probably my finals match at regionals last week.
Okay, tell us more about that.
Going into it, it was a kid with like 40 wins, and a lot of people had him favored ahead of me and thought I shouldn't have been seated ahead of him, but I ended up going up 9-3 on him and proved to them that I should have beat him in the first place and pinned him. So got our team points, got 30 points for the team, so that way we can continue and get second.
And Coach, do you feel like that was Evan at his best there?
Oh man.
Or he could be better. Obviously, as a coach, you kind of have to feel like there's room for a little improvement.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Me and Evan are very alike,
Mm-hmm.
so we butt heads quite a bit. But when he's on, dude is on.
Yeah.
He's the best 106-pounder in the state. I truly believe that. So I personally, I think that the turning point kind of happened closer back to like the Chickasha event.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really where he found his groove. There's been bumps along the road, but, I mean, dude keeps chugging. He's relentless, and I think that's why he's going to get the result that he deserves this weekend.
All right, and Liam, glad to talk to you for the first time, especially since you're coming over here from Edmond North. Now, you don't need to say anything about Edmond North, but what went into you coming to Del City over the break?
It was mostly just some personal stuff that brought my family over here. But then it's been awesome. We've been welcomed with open arms, like he said, and it's been an amazing journey, and I couldn't ask for anyone different to have done it with.
Was it a very different experience coming practicing with the guys and all that?
A little bit, yeah. Just coming from, I don't know, like at Edmond North, everyone's the best, and like coming here where everyone's good, but there's a chip on their shoulder, and they work. I'd say they work pretty hard. Like, it's a lot more hard-nosed wrestling. I think that helped me a lot. My first few practices were a little bit tough. Shaver liked to push me a little bit, but it did well for me for sure.
Hey, if you're coming from Edmond North, I know they're going to be like, hey, let's see your medal here, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So when you got into competitions, was it did it feel different there wearing the Del City, jersey? Was it different wrestlers than you normally see?
Different wrestlers, but
yeah.
It really felt, it didn't really feel much, just a different type of fabric, really. It's still the same wrestling. I didn't really change much of what I was doing. I don't think Shaver or anyone really tried to press a different type of style on me. I think I still wrestled and did what I did, and nothing much changed there.
And we covered your Malcolm Wade win. So what was that like? Was that your first win for Del City, or had you won a week before?
Yeah, a week before at Geary. Okay. That was a big one. Geary, really historic tournament, really hard tournament. It's a bunch of classes, a bunch of different states, like probably best of the best in the South-ish area. And got it done there, beat some pretty good people. I was happy to do it with Del City on my chest.
And tell us how regionals went for you then this past weekend.
I'd say it went pretty good. Pinned my way to the finals. I wasn't able to get the pin in the finals. I felt like he was just trying not to get pinned or beat as bad as he probably could have been. But, everything was clicking for me. Everything was working. There wasn't really any time I was in danger. So I felt good. I'm feeling confident going into state.
So, Coach, what was a couple things that may have surprised you about Liam? Were you familiar with him before, or was he totally brand new to you?
I did not know him at all.
Okay.
I had never heard of him. He's actually only been wrestling for like 3 years. Which is pretty.
2 years, he says.
Amazing. 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is your third year?
Third year, yeah.
Okay.
So this is his third year. But probably just his willingness to, buy in. As he said, coming from Edmond North, everyone's good in the room. So I wasn't sure how tall he was going to stand, And I definitely did challenge him a few times. We actually had a workout at McLeod. And I made everybody sprint afterwards until Liam looked like he wanted to be there.
Okay.
Funny part was Liam was sick, so he wanted to be there for sure. But just like you said, testing his mettle, making sure that he wanted to be a part of them. The dude has done nothing but add to our program. Not just the team, but he's a great leader. He's great in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
He's bonded with all of the kids. He's done a really good job of buying into what we're doing, the message that we have for the kids. We haven't tried to necessarily change his style, but definitely I think that we have brought a new intensity. And there's matches where you can definitely see the grit coming through more and more. So, I mean, yeah, both of these guys have just continued to get better and dominate more as the season has gone on. So probably just that his willingness to buy in and accept any kind of criticism that we gave him.
Yeah. So, Evan, Coach talked about you moving weight classes for this year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Have you felt really good at that weight? Not just wrestling, but throughout the day, in your normal life and in practice.
It's not as tough a pull as you would think it is.
Yeah.
For me, it will get hard mentally, but I know I can get there physically. I'll feel fine for the day when I wrestle, but sometimes there's just stuff in my head that says you can't do it, but I just have to pull through. Shava reassures me, and I'm back on that mat ready to go.
So you think after this week you might go back to adding a little weight, or
yeah? Oh, yeah, we're aiming for 26 or 32, so
okay,
we're going to put on quite a bit of weight.
Okay, well, when that happens, Coach, that's when you got to bring your whole team back here for that and use the fundraiser.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because it lasts till March 31st. Liam, what have you found that the challenges in practice, like whoever you, I don't know if sparring's the right term, when you go against a teammate, and has that been what you're hoping for when you coming from Edmond North?
Oh, 100%. DeAndre's been an amazing practice partner for me.
Okay, you get DeAndre.
Yeah.
Well, the answer's that.
I knew about him before. He's made some noise, and I know it's funny. During freestyle tournaments and everything, he always wore that Cookie Monster singlet, and I'd always be like, there's Cookie Monster. But he's been awesome. I think we wrestle pretty similarly, and we'll have matches where we don't score on each other for 10 minutes, but we'll keep going, and finally someone will get something. So it's really good, high-level training partner for me. It's been amazing.
That's got to be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Evan, who do you go against usually?
I'll usually work in with our 126, Javon Cooper, who's also a state qualifier. We're real proud of him. Or I'll sometimes work in with Patrick Counts, who should have been a state qualifier, had some weight issues at the beginning of the year, but we still love him like family man. But those two are the main ones who I'll go against, and they've been pushing me to stay on weight. Pat's made it real clear that he doesn't want me doing the same thing he did. But, man, Javon, he's probably the closest person on that team to family. I've known him my entire life.
Oh, good. So how do you guys feel about tomorrow, about the team and about, what you're going to be up against?
I think we could take state.
Yep.
I think we can take state. I don't know. I've been trying to preach just keeping the mind right, keeping your body right and everything going in, and just being confident in what you're doing. And I think the team's picking up that message. And I think as long as we take care of and wrestle how we know how to wrestle, we're going to do what we need to do.
Coach, a lot of wind at your behind. I don't know. I'm getting butchering the term, but you get what I'm saying. A lot of momentum for you guys, right?
Absolutely.
So, I assume you're probably good with eating.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can stick around then for some more. Coach, so we plan on next week celebrating.
That's the plan.
We're going to celebrate Carl Albert Swimming. As you probably heard, they won state on the boys' side. And we want to celebrate any individual or team successes in wrestling. So we hope you can come back with some hardware.
Absolutely.
Especially if, like someone like DeAndre wins, we want to see, and these two guys as well, we want to see their hardware on. So we hope to have a big showing next week.
Yeah.
So
I think you're going to see a lot of sad faces around 5A.
Okay. But a lot of happy faces for our show next week then,
That's right.
Okay, well, thank you guys very much. It was great talking to you.
Yes, sir.
We wish you guys the best tomorrow. Big moment for Del City Wrestling, and I know you guys will represent them well. So, by the way, I've asked you about this. No, I don't think I've asked you about this, but will tomorrow's events be streamed?
I think they're streamed on Flow Wrestling, so you have to have a subscription.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll pass out any relevant info on social media and stuff like that. But Anyway, we'll update you hopefully on how Dell City Wrestling does this weekend. We look forward to that. So, guys, thank you very much. And we're going to talk Dell City Girls Wrestling here real quick, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
All right, and welcome back. We're going to talk Dell City girls wrestling with their coach, Orlando Recalde, okay, and one of his wrestlers here. Coach, we already showed the pictures of some of the wrestlers you had on the podium. Was that UConn, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what the regionals was.
Okay. But go ahead and tell us about how monumental this was, especially since, as Coach Schauber said, girls are going from one qualifier to is it 6?
Yeah, 6.
So what can you say about that?
It's been a really impressive group of girls to work with. We only have 9 girls in the team, and we ended up qualifying 6 of them.
All right. I'm going to ask you to move this up a little bit here. I'm sorry about that. I should have told you that before we went on the air. And what have you seen? Were you with the team last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What have you seen as being a bit of a turnaround?
The turnaround has been that the girls trust us more, and they've been listening to what we tell them to do. And last year they actually had a different staff for the girls.
Right.
They had a different coach. So this is the first year that the girls came over and started working with us more.
And when you have this many girls that are being successful, I assume this is making practices. Practices have been very competitive this year.
Yeah, definitely. All of the girls, they're all really good friends, but when they practice, they work as hard as they can with each other.
Yeah, so they're giving each other good competition. Well, was there a certain point this season when you knew, okay, this is going to be a strong year for us? It's going to be definitely an improvement from last year.
There definitely came a point, but it kind of was a little bit later in the season. It was at the McLeod tournament. That's after, the holidays. Mm-hmm. But after I saw them wrestle that weekend, that's when I knew that a lot of them had a potential to make it. I mean, some of them, they just look like if they want to go, they go.
Okay, let's talk about some of these qualifiers. Before we introduce the wrestler that you have with us, tell us about the 5 other qualifiers and how they've been doing this season.
The smallest qualifier that we have first is Katie Herlong. She's our 130-pounder. She's a senior. She just started wrestling last year.
Okay.
And just like the next weight, she actually went into regionals with a loosened record. But she's one of those athletes that, man, she has an incredible ability. I've never seen anybody do things that she does as a second-year wrestler. If she wants to get off from bottom from anybody, if she wants to, she'll do it. And after that, we have another girl that had a loosened record. She actually only had one win in the season. She went in 1-9 into regionals. Chanel Bolton, she's our 135-pounder. She's a pretty good athlete. She missed some practices here and there, especially during the holidays. But during the regional, she would just ask me, okay, so if I win this next match, what happens next? So if I win this next match, what happens next? So she really got engaged, and, she's one of the reasons why I say that if those girls want to do it, they will. And after Chanel, we have another pretty good one. Her name's Serenity High. She's our 140-pounder. One of our coaches calls her our Demon Lock.
Okay, that sounds like a heck of a wrestling name.
Yeah, if you'd seen her wrestle, it's pretty impressive. It's a really strong girl, really athletic, but she's really as strong as one of the boys. I'll roll around with her, and she'll hit me with some of her locks, and she's really strong. She actually gave the defending state champ, Belly Williams, probably what was her closest match this year. And after Serenity, we have Avery Dial. She's a freshman. She's been wrestling, I think this is her third year.
Okay.
And she's really been coming together this year. She was I really didn't think that she'd be as good as she was this year at the beginning. But as the season went on and she paid attention, she listened to us, I knew that she'd be better than the season. Like I said, as the season went.
Well, as a freshman, that's to make you excited about the future, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She went on to junior high state, and she placed 4th there. And then out of regionals, she did the same thing. She ended up losing her first match, just like in junior high state, and she ran all the way to the consolation finals.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did she place at junior high state, but she went on to qualify for high school girls state.
Okay.
And after Avery, we have, it'll be Chloe Daniels, who's here. And then after that, we have our defending state champion, that's Sorrel Hurd. And she's, like I said, the defending state champ, but she placed 4th at this past regional, so she'll have to test herself this weekend.
Yeah, well, I imagine being the defending state champ, she may have a bit of a target on her back, but and then that can be, as they say, heavy as the head who wears the crown. So, but let's go and talk now about the wrestler we have here with us.
And this here is Chloe Daniels. She's our 170-pounder. This is her second year wrestling, and she qualified for high school girls state. And she's a really athletic girl, works really hard, listens all the time, and she's just eager to learn all the time.
Chloe, I'm glad you're with us here. What made you get into wrestling? And then maybe this was already mentioned, but how many years have you been wrestling? This is your second? Is that
yes.
Second,
yes.
Okay. What made you decide to try wrestling out?
I'd heard about it my 8th grade year. I didn't really start it until my freshman year, but I don't know. I kind of just wanted to get in the room to see how it was, and then as time progressed, I kind of fell in love with the sport.
And can you talk more about what made you drawn to it? What made you decide, hey, this is for me? I want to keep doing this.
I don't know. Probably the atmosphere. There was just something about it that kept pulling me in to come back to the practices. I don't know if it was the team or if it was the staff, what it was, but I just kept coming back.
And is she someone, Coach, you have to push in practice or hold back, or her pace is pretty good?
No, she's got a pretty good pace.
Yeah.
If anything, she wants to work harder and harder every day.
All right. Chloe, what was a couple of highlights early in the season, some big victories that may have given you some more confidence in how you were doing?
Probably my undefeated record at McLeod. I don't know. I felt like that was a pretty confidence boost because I beat the girl that I'd lost to previously twice that weekend. And then probably at regionals as well. I avenged a couple other losses from other people. and I felt like that was a sign that I was growing and getting better.
All right, so you have some wind at your sails. I think that's what I was trying to say that to the previous coach, and I couldn't get it right, Coach Shaver. Anyway, is it hard to maintain your weight, or is it you find that during the season is pretty easy? I mean, especially since you're so focused on your matches.
During the season, it's pretty easy. I mean, because the practices are consistent and they're tough, so I lose a lot of weight during the practices. Even if I gain it back, I know that I'll lose the weight, and it's easy to maintain.
And who do you usually go up against during practice?
Sorrel Hurd, the 235.
Okay, well, that's got to be a good challenge for you then.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to see anyone probably as big as her when you're out there wrestling, so I'm sure she makes you better.
Yeah, it does. It really helps a lot, especially with like the weight difference, and whenever I'm on bottom, her putting her weight on me, it allows me to build the strength to get up with whenever I wrestle the girls who are actually my weight.
How do you feel about tomorrow?
I'm scared, but I'm excited. I mean, we're about to go make some big waves at state this year.
Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned to Coach, you're going from 1 to 5 or 6 qualifiers. So that has to be pretty exciting for you. I mean, you're part of a team now. That's really they're pioneers right now, setting the stage for Del City girls wrestling.
Yeah, I'm super happy about that. Like, I'm extremely proud of all the girls who made it to state this year because they put in the work and it's actually paying off.
All right, Coach. I mean, we talked about the girls, but how do you feel about where they are at right now? I mean, health-wise, all of that heading into tomorrow.
I mean, just like any good wrestler, they look a little anxious, but if anything, it's just from excitement. So I really think that all 6 of our girls will go out there and compete well. And, it's a match a day, so I'm pretty confident that our girls can take care of that.
All right. Well, we appreciate both of you coming on. Hey, let's show the card one more time for Del City Wrestling. This is for both boys and girls. And this goes till March 31st. Come to this Del City location. Show them this picture. If you needed help downloading it to your phone or something to that effect, let us know. We'll definitely help you out so you can support this up-and-coming wrestling team for both boys and girls. They have a big improvement from last year. It's very exciting. And keep track with how things are online, however it can go for you as the regionals start tomorrow. And we'll see how they do by the weekend. And hopefully, Coach, like I was telling Coach Shaver, any success stories, we want you back next week. We plan on having a big show celebrating the victorious swimmers and wrestlers from this past winter. So thanks again, Chloe. It was great to meet you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, next, Del City boys basketball right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Red Plains Plumbing has been offering reliable commercial and residential services to the OKC metro area for over a decade. From new construction and remodeling to residential repair, they can handle jobs of all sizes. When you need a trusted name in plumbing, it's Red Plains Plumbing. Family owned and operated. Phone 405-769-1922. That's 405-769-1922.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
You want to start?
I want to start a car mechanic shop.
Let's say we go to Scissor Tape.
Ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's go.
You got it.
I think she was from
One,
Rose State.
2, 3.
Woohoo!
Congratulations, Rose State college graduates.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Dell Sports Report on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And we are here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Dell City. Come support your favorite Mid-Dell winter sports team here between now and March 31st. That includes Dell City boys basketball. And show them this picture, this card between now and March 31st. If you need help downloading it, just let us know. But this will give Dell City boys basketball 10% of whatever you buy. And, again, that goes till March 31st. And we also want to thank Toonie Buys Houses for sponsoring this as well. And they buy and renovate homes, so that's a good investment for you. They're very active in the community. We want to thank, again, Toonie Buys Houses. Okay, let's talk Dell City boys basketball first. Let's go and show the bracket. And what an interesting one it is. So you can see the first round will be tomorrow for boys. Dell City will take on Altus at 6 p.m., and we will have that game for you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. That will be followed by Crossings Christian against Southeast. And now I get to talk to Coach Lenny Hatchett. All right, Coach, so one thing that's interesting is I think your last game was a week ago or 8 days ago now. And so now you get some time to rest before you play. You get really busy with the games here. So how's that rest been for you? Is it a rest you guys needed, or do you wish you had another game in there?
I kind of wish we may have had another game in there. You know, it's kind of a long break. First time in my career as a head coach in 5A and 6A to have that many days off. But, you know, you just kind of got to plan accordingly. And we gave the guys a light day off after our last game on Tuesday, and just kind of been able to focus on things that we need to get better on the past days of practice. And I think it's been good for us.
One thing I've noticed being Facebook friends with you is once you get to the playoffs, you really like to use practices as a time not just for physical play or whatever you're doing on the court, but you like to have teaching moments, and you bring in other people to talk to your team. And what started that, and what makes that important to you?
You know, I started in I think around 2020. It was just I talked to some other coaches about, you know, durations of practice during playoff time and how long you want to practice. And I know in my younger days when I was a head coach, I think I probably went sometimes a little too long. And I kind of started understanding that, you know, when we started making that run in 2019, that you know, keep them short, keep them productive. And I think our guys they'll come in and they know, hey, we're going to go an hour and a half and we're going to get in and get out. And you get a little more, I think, productivity out of it. And it's been working for us for the past 5 years. So I said I'm not going to change it. And we're able to find some things at the end of practice that I think that our guys need to understand that they can relate to. We got a lot of kids that are seniors in our programs, and we want to make sure that we can give every message that we can that's going to be positive, something that they can take from basketball and transition into their life.
So let's talk about how the end of the season went. And one reason I'm bringing this up, it's very rare for you guys to lose at home over the years. You guys have had a dominant home record, but you did come up short to your rivals, Midwest City. Mm-hmm. And so then you had a good follow-up game against Lawton MacArthur. So what was the message after the Midwest City loss? I mean, you guys were so competitive. Right. It wasn't really, you know, a loss where your team looked bad or anything like that. So what was it, mostly a positive message after that game?
I mean, it was just even keel. I think several of our guys that have been playing well and didn't play at the level that they wanted to play at kind of knew. And sometimes when you got these players that have been in our system for so long, they know, and there's no reason to keep, you know, beating a dead horse, so to say, and letting them know, hey, you know, you knew your mistakes. I think they knew. They're old enough to understand. And we just talked about, you know, we had our chances. I thought the third quarter made the difference in that game. I thought we had a chance to kind of separate ourselves from them. And, you know, everybody kind of remembers the last 2 free throws, you know, with Sparkplug, but that didn't even have to come to that moment if we would have took care of business in the third quarter. And but I thought that our guys understood that we're right where we need to be. We're turning the corner at the right time. We just wasn't able to finish that game and went down to Lawton Mack and had a great game plan. I thought we did a really good job. And from there, I think it's just starting to catapult off defensively starting and then moving into our offense.
Well, and I got to go to the Lawton MacArthur game. I didn't know I was going to be there until earlier that day. But it was a fascinating game to watch. For one, you guys entered that game, you were tied with Lawton MacArthur, I believe, in the 2 spots. So it was a very important game in the standings. But then also, I mean, they're a good team, and they're competitive with you early in the 4th. It was close. And you guys just you finished so strong in that game. And what do you attribute a lot of that to?
I just think that just contributes to a lot of our guys of how they approach practice and how they know what we have to do in the 4th quarter to finish out games. And they know it starts on that defensive end. And that comes with a group of guys that get along, they enjoy playing with each other, and they know we're going to have some things that aren't going to go our way, but we can't let those type of things affect our game and the outcome of games. And I thought that all kind of contributed into the win.
Okay, and let's talk about a couple players that I think have come on very strong for you, and then we'll mention more, I'm sure. But Tavon Johnson, I didn't know he was that good on offense until those last couple games. And Lawton MacArthur, he missed some shots early on, but then he finished around the basket so well, and he's a load too.
Yeah.
What can you say about his development? He's really impressed me.
I mean, I've known Tay since he was a freshman. I mean, he played for us as a freshman, then he decided not to play his sophomore year. So we knew, he's always in love with basketball. In fact, I think he played all summer this year at some AAU team. So I'd always run into him at gyms. And I just asked him, I just said, hey, if this is something that you love to do, you don't need to, focus on one thing. Over here at Dale City, we share athletes. And I think the toughness that he's been doing in football and the great player he is just kind of transitioned into our basketball on the court. I knew it was going to take some time. Once he started getting in basketball shape, because he was beat up. I mean, anytime you can make it to the finals in football, which is a great thing. We had several players that kind of come in that are nicked up. But he's really starting to hit his strides offensively and defensively. And he does some things that we haven't had this year earlier in the year, and that's something that's we're benefiting from.
And then, of course, you got a great addition with the Graham brothers. And I remember early in the school year, I was asking you about Michael at the time, and you said, no, he's a Westmore. But for some reason, I don't know, I thought I saw he was on, I think it was Max Preps.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't even know why I saw that. But But now, incorporating him and Michon, his younger brother, this late into the season, what was the challenge with that? And I mean, he also played real well in that Lawton MacArthur game. Obviously, he's a tremendous offensive talent.
Yeah, he is. He's got a motor. I mean, I didn't even know about the Max Preps deal. I don't even have our stuff on Max Preps unless somebody puts that in. But, when those 2 guys came over, it was a discussion that we had with our team and had a discussion with those 2 kids. And, I mean, ever since then, and all these kids, actually, our senior bunch, went to middle school with him when he was at Delcrest. So a lot of people don't even remember that, when he was at Delcrest before he left to go to Southeast. So the chemistry kind of already started when they got there, and the relationships was already developed when they were in middle school. And the young man has a high motor. He has a high IQ of the game. I think if he wanted to go play college basketball, he definitely could, and he's expressed that to me. He's a team guy. Like, he wants these guys to be good. He wants to have success, and he comes from, when he played for Coach Brewer is a Hall of Famer in my opinion, and a great coach, both of them. So those 2 kids kind of already know how to play. And when you can get that along with having a good relationship and chemistry with our kids, I think it only just helps. There was no red flags when the kids came over, and all those things just kind of worked itself out, And I've been on both sides of it as a coach. I've lost players, and this is our first time getting those 2 kids, this late in the year. So it was kind of a deal for me and my staff just to kind of figure out how do we want to approach it. And they've been patient. They didn't come in complaining about not starting and how much playing time. It was like they earned where they're at. And right now we're just enjoying the moment with these guys that we have, and we're going to try to see how far we can make this run.
And then having Michon, I mean, he could be a real cornerstone for you next year.
Oh, absolutely.
More of one than he is now.
Only a junior. So people kind of look at our roster. We started a lot of seniors earlier in the year, but now we got a lot more juniors that are back in the lineup playing. And I've always been big on just having some depth, and hopefully we have a good solid 9 or 10 guys that we can rotate in when we need to and not drop off.
Yeah, well, I feel like depth-wise you may have more firepower coming off the bench than you did last year.
Oh, I agree. Without a doubt. Yeah, we got some guys that come in, know their role, and that comes from practice. I mean, the way they compete against each other in practice is kind of a competition. If second team's beating first team, they're going to let that first team know, and vice versa. So we embrace that. We like that competition, and then we want to channel that into a game.
All right, what players do we have with us here?
We got Amadre Sanders over here. We all know him as Spark Plug. Deshaun McCarroll, another one of our seniors, and Darius Washington over here. 3 of our seniors right here.
All right, we're going to get Darius in for here in a moment here, but let's start with Deshaun. Deshaun, were you at the game at Carl Albert last night for the Del City girls?
I couldn't make it, but I watched it on YouTube, though.
Okay, well, you should watch it on the Oklahoma Sports Network if you can't make it for the 3:30 game, which is on YouTube as well. So, what's it like watching your sister play? Was that nerve-wracking?
Kind of. Last night, I feel like she had some pretty good plays and she had some bad plays, but we all had some good plays and some bad plays. I feel like she played good.
And you got
good as a team effort.
Yeah, do you guys critique each other's game?
Look.
How do you feel like she's gotten at going to her right hand? Because she's so lefty dominant, but you're a righty, correct? So
yes, sir.
It's a little different for you.
I feel like she's going to get better at using it. She just has to practice on it a little more.
All right. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of family at Del City basketball and crossover girls and boys here. This is your first year getting a lot of rotation minutes, and I mean, you make it every time I've watched you play. You make a good impression on how you're able to mix it up and compete. And I think a couple games I've watched, you've gotten hurt too. So I mean, you definitely mix it up. But how would you say your season's gone?
I feel like my season has been going pretty good. Playing with my teammates, getting a bond, creating a bond with them, just playing basketball with them, having fun with them.
And how would you describe your role on this team?
I feel like my role is like spark, kind of like if I'm playing good on defense, then the team's going to start playing better on defense.
Yeah, and on offense, when do you like to pick your spots? What's your mentality as far as when you want to be aggressive and when you might hold back and let someone else take it?
Sometimes I like kind of like just crashing the boards, getting rebounds, and then like getting putbacks. That's mostly where most of my points come from.
Yeah. Well, Coach, he's definitely someone you want in the press.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We like that. We like him in the press.
He moves. He moves around and quick.
Yeah.
Amadre. So, do you like that nickname, Spark Plug?
Yeah, I love it. I didn't really know Coach like that when I first got to Del City. We was in a weight room, and my freshman year we was in a weight room. It was COVID year too, so it was summer pride, and I don't know where he just started calling me Spark Plug. So I just been living with it ever since then.
Yeah, well, you're another player who's expanded your role this year, and what's been enjoyable for you about this season?
Playing with my teammates, and
they've
always every time I miss a shot, they've always saying, "Good shot, keep shooting the ball." That's what I do. I can't take that for granted at all. I even got my coach here. He always tells me to shoot the ball. He always loved the way I play, the way I hustle, the way I play defense, especially off the bench. Not a lot of guys really wanting to come off the bench and just play ball.
Yeah.
But I accept that role as coming off the bench and playing defense, playing hard, and just doing what I do best, which is shoot the ball and try to crash the boards.
Well, I'll be honest. Are you the best shooter on the team?
Yeah, everybody says it is, but I think I'm the best shooter.
Okay. Well, and I got to ask you about this. In the Midwest City game, you were the one brought on to shoot free throws. Was that nerve-wracking? When Tayshawn got injured late?
It was a little nerve-wracking because I wasn't expecting Taven to get hurt.
Right. It's an unusual situation.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get hurt. But it was a little nerve-wracking because, I had just came off the bench. I had just shot 2 free throws.
That's right, yeah.
I had just hit 2 free throws to cut the lead down to 2. I wasn't really nervous, When I stepped up there, I stepped up with confidence. I hit the first one. Then I tried to settle myself down, relax, and then I shot it. And then I took my time, I shot it. It just didn't go my way. The second one, it was a little heartbreaking because I wanted to beat them so bad.
Yeah.
I don't like losing to Midwest City, but what it learned for me was that I know I can get better at my free throws for sure. And these guys, when I walked in the locker room, I was in tears. You know, normally you don't normally see that from me, but I was in tears. They just told me to keep my head up. And then they just told me don't worry about it, move on to the next game, and just live with it.
And Coach, that's just a good experience for him, you know, to have that moment, and because that is unexpected. I was saying on the air that no one should think that's easy,
right?
To step in that situation,
right? Well, it's like I told the guys in the locker room, you know, when that situation happened, there was nobody that was any doubt in our mind who we were going to go with coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And I told Spark that, and I told him I believed in him from start to finish, and the outcome is going to be how to say it, the bigger picture still to come for him, and there's going to be an opportunity that he's going to have that he'll remember that moment, that he's going to be able to relish off of that to have that next experience is going to even be greater for him, and that's what I can't wait for, and whether it's in a regionals or area or state or wherever, how far we get to go, he's going to have an impact on our game, and he knows that. Yeah,
that's going to be good preparation. There's going to be bigger games ahead. Okay, so Deshaun, one last question for you. Then we got to trade headsets here, but what's going to be important, do you think, for your team to make a run in the playoffs?
I just feel like we have to keep coming in practice, ready to work, hard work every day, and just come together as a team.
All right. Well, Deshaun's going to trade headsets here with Darius Washington while they're making that exchange. Coach, what do you think about your matchup tomorrow? Altus, they have their head coach is brand new to the team, but he's a 300-game winner of what I've been told.
Yeah.
And so what do you expect tomorrow?
You know, we watched as much film as I think we can. He's got some talented kids. You know, I've watched on film, and I think we approach it that, you know, everybody's 0-0. So we know everybody's coming after us, and we're coming after them. And what we're going to do is we're going to hopefully try to play our game and dictate how we want to play and go from there. There's one thing we're not going to do is look ahead. We're going to focus on Altus first because you don't get to play for a regional final if you don't win tomorrow.
Right.
And our goal is going to be try to be into the finals and then go from there. So we're excited about the opportunity. I'm, you know, selfishly glad we don't have to drive to Altus, you know, so they got to come to us. So
you don't have to go anywhere.
We'll take that. So, but I know he's a good coach. He's got some kids that I'm sure they're going to be getting better, and they're going to be prepared for us, and we're going to do our job, what we need to do as a Dale City basketball.
All right, let's talk to Darius. Darius, thank you for being on with us. How do you feel this season's gone for you?
The season's been going pretty great, I say. We've been all, as a whole, growing off of each other, and especially with our newest guys coming in, I feel like everything's just been going pretty well, and we've been playing with a pace and a rhythm going into playoffs right now.
And I ask a lot of players this because I think it's important in basketball to know your role, know your job. How would you describe your role with a team?
I feel like I come off the bench with energy and just give it all I got, especially with the size I give and as much defense as I play for the team. I feel like I can get out there and do a couple things for the little minutes I get.
Now, we've talked to Coach about how deep your team is now, especially when you had the Graham brothers. Are practices very competitive, especially when you go 5-on-5?
Always.
Yeah, and are usually in the mix there, I would assume?
From time to time.
Yeah. And is there a particular player or two that you compete against a lot? You find yourself competing against a lot that you guys make each other better?
I compete with anybody on the court. It doesn't matter. I compete with Deshaun sometimes. It's like I have my days where I compete with anybody at practice today, make them better and make me better.
And Coach, how would you describe what Darius brings to the table?
I mean, he nipped it just like you said. He's an energy guy, high energy guy. He plays hard, plays passionate. He can guard multiple positions. And earlier in the year, I think he would kind of be handsy and kind of get in some foul situations. But now he's starting to understand that he can bother a lot of people with the pressure and the way he moves defensively that can cause a lot of problems for teams. And when you got guys that can guard multiple positions, that's something that we take pride in at Dale City, is that because we do a lot of switching. He's one of those guys that can do those things.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't at least bring up how interesting your bracket became. I know it's for you guys all about Altus as far as your focus, but when you see that Crossings who has been in first place the entire year until the last game of the regular season, is now coming there. What was your reaction to that?
I watched. I got to go with Chance when they played that Thursday night game at Carl Albert.
I thought you'd be there.
I saw that. Teams like that usually don't go 2 for 12 in the fourth quarter from the free throw line. I know Coach Shank for a long time. He used to be at Edmond Santa Fe, and then I came in after he had left. So he's a good friend of mine. What they do well. But one thing when I saw that game, then I saw them go down to Guthrie and lose to Guthrie. You have to be able to play hard on both ends. You can't let teams. I know teams are kind of hunting for them, and this might have been one of those years where they're not being hunted as much because last year they kind of surprised a lot of teams. But he's got a solid group of kids. He's got some bigs, he's got good solid guards, and it didn't shock me just because I thought that district was difficult where anybody could beat anybody on any given day. And the way the bracket's set up, it's kind of like, everybody says you got to beat them all anyways, to get where you want to go. So we're going to be up for the challenge if we can make it to that point, and I'm sure they will too. And I know our guys are going to compete at a high level, and that's the most important thing that we'll do.
Amandre, do you hear hype about Crossings? Like, did you hear do you even pay attention to that? Like that, how they're doing well in their district up until the very end?
I didn't really pay attention that much.
Yeah.
I've always known that Crossings was going to be pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
They were always one of the top teams that we had watched. Crossings is like they play hard and they swing the ball to where the defense has to rotate, and they got a lot of shooters, so it's hard to guard them. But I wasn't really paying attention on Cross. I was more focused on us as a team,
sure,
how we can get better and how our defense is going to be.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going. I think it's going to make us even more tough. We've scrapped and we play defense, and that's been our MO every time we made the playoffs. We've always had a goal to where we always hold teams to under 40 or 50 points, and that's what's key for us. I think it's going to be key for us when as playoffs continue to keep scrolling.
Darius, I'm sure all you guys want a shot at Midwest City because you're so competitive against them the 2 games you played them. Such really good games, fun games to announce, I can tell you that. But, chances are you wouldn't meet them until state. So when you think about the path to get to state, do you pay any attention to the Guthries or the Carl Alberts or Crossings at all when you think about possible matchups down the road? And Carl Albert might be an area championship game.
I feel like those 2 teams that you named right there have always been tough to beat or come to a last-minute battle with them. We've been having rivals with them for the longest. But I feel like coming down to state, I feel like we could possibly meet Midwest City there, or even before maybe. But at this point in time, we just got to worry about our tomorrow's game, Atlantis. No, absolutely. Now, for you guys to play Midwest City before, both of you would have to lose a game. I know no one's thinking about that.
Right.
That's the only way that matchup could happen. So I can wait. I'm hoping it takes place in Norman if it happens. So for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's show the bracket one more time. So we will have for you the Del City Altus game tomorrow again at 6. It's going to be the Altus announcing crew. They're going to make the trek to Del City to announce that game, but it's going to be on both the Altus and Del City channels. And we're very excited about that. And we will definitely have Del City's matchup Friday, whoever they play, whether it's Southeast or Crossings. We're going to have that matchup for sure tomorrow or Friday night. And then whatever happens after that, we hope to give you wall-to-wall Del City playoff coverage just like we have the last several years. All right. Well, Coach, thank you very much.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having us on
Absolutely.
here. Absolutely.
Mondre, thank you.
Appreciate
and
it.
Darius. And thank you very much, Deshaun. Appreciate you being on with us. And just remember, that's the games we have tomorrow. First-round matchups, Carl Albert taking on Noble, Midwest City hosting Western Heights, Del City and Altus. All 3 games start at 6. But, of course, it's streaming, so you can pause a couple games while you watch one live. Just keep going back and forth. And we hope that all the Mid-Del schools can go far and compete well. We know they will. So that'll do it for us. Next week, we're going to celebrate Carl Albert swimming as their boys team won state. And then we'll see how wrestling goes. We will celebrate wrestling teams as well, or wrestler individuals and maybe teams depending on how that goes. So it's going to be about swimming and wrestling next week. And then if whatever Mid-Del teams can make the state tournament, we hope we can have them on or at least do an interview to show you in 2 weeks. That will be kind of a state basketball preview. That's the plan anyway, in 2 weeks, as that will be the day before the first round of 5A state tournament at Lloyd Noble. We'll see how many Mid-Del teams make it, but be sure to tune in the Oklahoma Sports Network for those games these next 2 weekends. That'll do it for now. We want to thank everyone who helped us out, our production assistants, Amaya and Alicia, and then Matt for producing again. And we're glad to be back. You've been watching the Mid-Del Sports Report on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.